After playing Monster Hunter Wilds for more than 40 hours, there are many interesting things that we'd like to discuss. Monster Hunter Wilds brings a lot of cool innovations, but also takes risks in aspects like storytelling and armor design. So, does Wilds succeed in taking the series to a higher level, or will veterans be disappointed in this entry? Let's take a look at Monster Hunter Wilds.
Hey, this is Sean from Gamer Braves. It's been 8 years since we established Gamer Braves channel. We went to a lot of overseas game conference. We did a lot of exclusive interview with a lot of prominent figures from the industry, Ryuzo Sugimoto, Sean Layden, and even Yagu. One of the easiest way to support us is to subscribe to our channel. Support like this will actually gives us motivation and pushes us to produce better content. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
For the first time in Monster Hunter history, there's a big focus on story. Usually the series is more about hunting monsters and repeating, but this time it's different. Our hunter can chat with other characters and even choose dialogue options, and we're actually part of the story, rather than just reacting to the monsters that appear. The story is now deeper, especially the relationship between the guild, the hunter, and what they contribute to human civilization. The guild is now more visible as an organization with a more significant role in the Monster Hunter universe. Players will see more interactions with NPCs that show how the guild plays a role in managing the monster ecosystem and maintaining the balance of nature. Cutscenes look good and the dialogue is enough to keep our attention. Sometimes there's even an interesting or suspenseful build-up to the story. Some people may like it, but we're sure there will be others who don't, including us who felt that some parts and endings felt weird compared to the previous games, and we didn't quite get how they portrayed the story in this game. In terms of pacing, low rank is very linear and can be completed in about 15 hours before entering high rank. High rank also still has a bit of story element that you can follow. Although the story has never been the main selling point of Monster Hunter, it's at least a step that successfully expands the existing lore by providing a direct picture of how guilds and hunters work and the impact of monsters to hunting to the existing ecosystem. The world in Wilds feels more alive and immersive than in previous installments. Just like Monster Hunter World, the world here is very detailed and full of life, from big monsters, small monsters, plants, to endemic life that also return. So prepare your net to catch them. Each area has its own unique atmosphere that feels different and not just a fighting arena. For example, in Windward Plains, the boundaries aren't invisible walls, but natural sandstorms, so the game can show you where the end of the map is, while still maintaining the immersive feel of the world. The weather effects and time of day also change, from early mornings with soft sunlight to thunderstorms that make the hunting atmosphere more intense. This is a great example of the game's immersion. Apart from nature, each village we encounter has a different culture, which can also be seen in the type of food they serve. This makes the world of Wilds feel more real and organic. In addition, the environment in Wilds is much more dynamic than World or Rise, with weather changes actually impacting the course of your hunt directly, such as certain monsters only appearing at certain times and weather, which makes the world feel dynamic and alive. However, there's one thing that's a bit unfortunate. The goofy element of cooking is gone. No more canteens with the chef dancing while cooking your food. Now you have to cook your own food or eat with the villagers. This does add a sense of realism, but for some players it might feel like something is missing. At least Kongalala's farts are still there. The combat system in Wilds has undergone many changes that make the gameplay more flexible and comfortable. There are now wound and focus strike systems that make combat more dynamic. In previous games we would focus on the head or tail when the monster fell. But with this wound system, the targeting variation increases, where you might focus more on the wound and try to destroy it with focus strike. This certainly feels fresher than always focusing on the monster's head. Weapons also have their own focus strikes that strengthen their playstyle, such as the gunlance, which will issue a drill and stick the worm stick. The switch axe has two different focus strikes depending on the weapon mode. The charged blade, which will activate the savage axe, or the longsword, which will gain gauge levels depending on the number of wounds destroyed when the focus strike, and make the longsword enter the red gauge very quickly. Some weapons also have a parry system with offset attack or perfect guard, and there are some skills that will increase damage when you make the right timing during offset attack or perfect guard. Offset attacks can temporarily stun monsters, which will give you a window to attack, and perfect guard can also trigger a clash that will make monsters also stagger for a moment. And when you manage to do an offset attack or perfect guard and make the monster fall, it's very satisfying. From the various weapons that we tried, there were many interesting changes, like the big change to gun lengths. In the past game, shelling levels from level 4 to 7 determined the shelling damage. Now in Wilds, there's no shelling levels, and shelling will scale with attack. Shelling levels are basically replaced with shell power, which can be normal, slightly weaker, and slightly stronger, which makes this weapon not too dependent on skills like artillery. Longsword has also seen a lot of improvements. All the old moves like Foresight Slash and EI Spirit Slash are still there. But now there's the addition of Spirit Release Slash, the follow-up attack of Helmbreaker, which deals massive damage that will lower the gauge from red to white. With Focus Strike, getting that red gauge level is pretty quick, so it allows for more frequent use of Helmbreaker and Spirit Release Slash. It's definitely very satisfying when you can do Helmbreaker and Focus Striking wounds multiple times while cutting off the monster's tail. Oh yes, let's not forget our loyal companion Palico, who will help you a lot in hunting monsters. We feel that the Palico's AI in Wilds has been the best in the entire Monster Hunter series. Very smart and reactive. If the Palico sees that your HP is low, he'll send Vigor Wasp. However, if he sees that your HP has already been healed, he'll cancel the Vigor Wasp and tells you that he'll save it for later. They can also put traps when you need them, or give you a cleaner bug when you get an ailment. Your Palico will store both the trap and the cleaner bug if they don't end up being used. This is very helpful and makes you feel like this Palico is the best support so far you've had in the series. From what we've seen, it also looks like they use Plunderblade to get materials from the monsters. And the chance to get materials with high rarity is quite big. Not always rare items, but at least we've gotten some gems from the Plunderblade. Unfortunately, you now only have one Palico to build, and there's no renting or finding the Palico you want like in the previous series. All these new elements in combat really make the hunt more exciting, especially in Focus Strike, which makes it more dynamic. An offset attack or perfect guard is satisfying. Your Palico is very smart, supportive, and reactive, making difficult hunts easier and much more comfortable. Discussing armor and weapons, one of the biggest changes is the separation of weapon skills and armor skills. For example, Attack Boost, Critical Eye, and Focus are now only available in weapon, including decorations that can only be used in weapon, while Agitator, Evade Window, and Earplugs are only available in armor, including decorations as well. This makes weapons more independent from armor, where now each weapon focuses on its own strengths without relying on armor, and allows us to use one set of armor for several different weapons. This makes character builds more flexible, allows players to change weapons freely without having to return to camp to change armor, and this supports the secondary weapon system that the Sacred brings. Some skills have also been adjusted to be more efficient. For example, Guard is now a weapon skill, with the maximum level reduced from 5 to 3, but still provides maximum protection effects with fewer slots. Meanwhile, Weakness Exploit, which is now exclusive to armor, was increased from level 3 to 5, requiring more armor skills to achieve. This separation requires players to be more strategic in character building, customizing weapon and armor skills to complement each other. There are also new systems like group skills and set bonuses that change the way builds are constructed. Group skills are similar to set bonuses but can be achieved from using multiple armors from similar monsters. For example, some Apex monster armor has the Lord's Favor skill, which activates when wearing 3 parts of some Apex monster armor such as Raydao, Uduna, or Nu Udra. Meanwhile, set bonuses remain as usual, active when wearing 2 to 4 pieces from the same armor set. Compared to World and Rise, where players are free to mix armor to maximize skills, we feel Wilds emphasizes set bonuses over individual skills. At most, only one piece of armor is flexible, because you need 2 to 4 pieces of armor to get a good bonus. For fashion hunting fans, you will now no longer be limited to gender as in previous games. You can use both male and female armor regardless of your gender, opening up wider fashion hunting opportunities, not only for existing armor, but also in the future when we start getting new monster updates and expansions. The problem of separating weapon and armor skills is that it does reduce flexibility, but that doesn't mean the build system is rigid. Now, players are more geared towards completing the full set bonus first, then refining the build with additional decorations that will make us think further to get the perfect build. The monsters in the Wilds are designed with more detail, both with the new ones and the returning old ones. Many new monsters present unique concepts such as monsters with tentacles or those with special mechanics that change their fighting patterns. It's very clear that the development team is trying hard to provide a greater variety of interesting monsters. Even the first time we fought Nu Udra, we managed to cut off the majority of his tentacles. Imagine cutting off a tail but multiple times. This was not in previous series. In addition to that, the returning old monsters also get significant updates. For example, Kongalala and Blagonga retain their cute fighting styles, but now have the addition of more complex mechanics such as Konga herds that will always follow Kongalala and annoy you when fighting. Favorite monsters like Gormagala feel easier than it was in Monster Hunter 4, likely due to the wound and parry systems that make hunting easier for players. We think the variety of new monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds is very interesting with their unique mechanics. All monsters also get upgrades that we feel are enough to make them more modern and lively, while maintaining their unique characteristics such as Kongalala's farts. We tried this game on both the PS5 and PC. On PS5, the game ran smoothly on prioritized framerate mode. Even when playing on the PS Portal, there was no significant latency, a pretty perfect experience on the PS5. On PC, performance was also solid, with FPS stabilizing at 60 to 70 on high settings, with the DLSS quality at 1440p. With frame gen, FPS can be doubled without significant delay. Unfortunately, we encountered a visual bug where textures jump here and there although it wasn't long and annoying, but it was there. We also experienced many crashes when starting out the optional quest on PC, which was quite annoying. Hopefully this bug will be fixed in the final version later, because we did not experience the same bug in the PS5 version. Monster Hunter Wilds does bring great innovation to the series. While a greater focus on the story may not appeal to all the players, we feel it's still a good step to improve the lore of the Monster Hunter universe. The world feels more alive with a real ecosystem, both between monsters and humans, plus a dynamic weather system. Combat is more flexible with weapons that are no longer too dependent on armor skills, especially with changes to some weapons such as gunless shelling, which makes the gameplay feel more free, as well as the addition of the wound system and parry, which makes hunting more fluid and strategic. The Palico AI is now smarter and more efficient, although the limitations of only carrying one can feel less satisfying, but we think their loyalty and how versatile the tools our Palico carries are enough to help our overall hunt. The armor system is more structured with set bonuses, providing a new approach to character building, although reducing freedom in build optimization. Overall, Monster Hunter Wilds brings a lot of cool innovations, but also takes risks in aspects like storytelling and armor design. These changes can either make the experience more exciting or less freeing, depending on your preferences. But one thing's for sure, this game creates a fresh and dynamic new evolution for the Monster Hunter series. We give Monster Hunter Wilds a solid 10 out of 10. Are you planning to get the game? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more future videos just like this one.